Welcome to the review of race day 2. This day, race day 2 with 234.26 kilometers. The start time was 15:15, and it was an interesting race. Another day with a bit of waiting, so we had a bit of a late start today. The developments of the thermals were quite a bit late, and anyway, we had a good start, we had a good weather, and we had good views. Anyway, so all 19 pilots went into the race quite good. Everybody got a good start and got a good height, but we had also some penalties in the beginning. For instance, we have the Austrian guy Hammer Demerer, who got 300 seconds penalty because he didn't cross the start line in the right order, so he passed it a bit. And also some penalties, just a few, for Yankee 4 Mario Kiesling for being over the certain speed. As you can see, Oscar Delta was just flying on the right hand side of the starting line. Everybody else did quite good. The maximum start height was 2000 meters and the maximum speed 175. So everybody went back to the ridge on the western side of the Grimming, and everybody went up, and as you can see, the altitudes, they were gaining roughly between 1800 to 2100 meters. So everybody, all 19 pilots in one gaggle, and from there on the race started. Echo Delta Echo, the German guy Stefan Sänger went off, and all the others. Quite a good race actually, and everybody followed the northern ridges. It was quite clear. The cloud developments, they were quite good. So we had like winds slightly from southwesterly directions, but it was quite humid. So in the lower layers, it was quite tricky to get away. And even above 2000 meters, as they reported, it was much better to go. So everybody is going on the ridges from the Grimming area via Stoderzinken all the way to Kammspitz. As you can see here, the leadings with Echo Delta Echo, Sierra 2, Whiskey Golf, and Mike 3, also Bravo Tango, Whiskey Oscar, more or less everybody together in more or less the same heights. Still 90 k's to go, and here a few stopped for some good climbs, and here we go again. Yeah, we had some quite tricky conditions going on, as I told, and the lower layers. So because of the humidity, it was quite slow getting away when you were lower this day, and so many pilots had quite problems to get away. And as you can see, the first few, they're going into the lead now, just pushing it very hard, and that was probably not a good idea for the day. Everybody else is stepping back, and they're making their heights. Even as you can see, the highest now, Whiskey Oscar, Papa Kilo Delta India Delta, Alexander Müller, for instance, he's also here the highest, 2800 meters, Wolfgang Janowicz 2600, Robbie Schröder 2500, Andy Lutz, same height. So everybody is taking no risk at this stage, but as you can see, and if you look forward now, we can see Oscar Tango, Sierra India, and Lima Victor just going down very, very quickly and just shooting forward. And Oscar Tango is now running into troubles. As you can see, he's quite low, below the ridges. Well, we know it from the other racing day. He's well straightforward, and he's not really afraid flying low. But today that was actually not a good idea. So as you can see, Lima Victor is a bit behind, but he's also making himself a bit higher. And here, as you can see, everybody is aiming for another climb for crossing this little valley here in the area of Bischofshofen, St. Johann in Pongau. Lima Victor is coming also to the gaggle, and Oscar Tango is well below 1,000 meters. So this is quite a tricky thing now. He's trying to get into this area, which is unlandable terrain, but he will decide to come back now. And as we can see, those guys are ahead. Oscar Tango well below, Sierra India as well. He's not very high. Whiskey Golf is also very straightforward. All those guys were taking it hard. Oscar Tango is now deciding going backwards to the landable terrain, and all the other guys are just pushing forward towards Zell am See. And as you can see now, most of the pilots now stopping here, making height, important height for the day. They're coming up and making good heights. Wolfgang Janowicz taking it slowly, but constantly, and 2,200, Mario Kiesling as well, Heimo Demmerer, Didier Haus. So they're making it quite clear that this day is very, very tricky down low. So they just went on, and everybody is quite convinced that staying high is probably the safest way of the day, because as you can see, Sierra India is now well below 900 meters. Whiskey Golf is also quite struggling, but still not lost. Lima Victor is well behind, and Oscar Tango, as you can see, all the way back, is now struggling and is probably lost, and he needs to fire his engine. So as you can see now, everybody's straight forward towards the first turning point. It's gaggling still, and they are pilots quite high. Wolfgang Janowicz doesn't take any risk. Boston Pristavet, he's well together with him. Also number 3, Didier Haus, 2,300. Jan-Frederik Müller also did a very, very nice race and a good job. As you can see, Yankee 4 was the first in the turn. Turned Whiskey Golf as well, but well below 1,000 meters, and is probably running into more troubles now. And same as Mike Alpha X-Ray, Alexander Müller. Those guys are probably struggling in this height, in this area, and don't manage to get away. Sierra 2, Robbie Schröder and Bravo Tango were thinking of just making it differently and moving to the southern side of the area, which was reported from them as a quite good decision, because the cloud base was looking quite nicely. But everybody else went back on the same route they came. We see it here. Whiskey Oscar and Echo Juliet, they building up a loose formation. And now Lima Victor is coming in as well. Bernhard Leitner, local guy from Austria. And Sierra India, he did start his sustainer, his engine already, while Yankee 4 is in the lead now. He's well ahead of the others, but still lower than Whiskey Oscar and Echo Juliet. Bravo Tango, the Swiss guy, the winner of the first day, is still in the race, in a good race actually, same as Robbie Schröder. They are flying on the southern side of the ridges, actually of the valley, and making height quite nicely. Oscar Tango is out of the race. As we can see, he fired the sustainer, and so we focus now on those guys. They are well ahead, which is Whiskey Oscar, Yankee 4 and Echo Juliet, as well as Didier Haus and Alpha Golf, the young German guy Jan-Frederik Müller. So they did quite a good job. As you can see, Lima Zulu is also still flying and has also turned already, but he is much lower than the others. And now the interesting final glide race starts with those guys: Whiskey Oscar, Wolfgang Janowicz from Austria, and Echo Juliet, Bostan Pristavet from Slovenia, and they really making a nice race now. As you can see, Yankee 4, Alpha Golf and Didier Haus staying together, making height, very important meters to get away. Whiskey Oscar, Echo Juliet also taking their times. It looks that they just circle against each other, so probably not a good look on this. Hopefully they didn't in real. And so they came up 2,500, 2,400. Look at on those heights now. They're making it really nicely, very high for a very nice final glide now. Above 3,000 meters, 10,000 feet. And now they're well ahead. As you can see on the right statistics, the goal arrival height they are now below 500, below the glide path, and all the other guys are coming as well. But those two guys, the Austrian Wolfgang Janovic and the Slovenian guy Bostan Pristavic, are well ahead now and higher. Yankee 4, Alpha Golf and Didier, they're also racing behind, but another 300 meters lower. So this is the lead for the day, as you can see quite clearly. Just have a quick look back and see where all the others are. They are slightly behind. Sierra India and Oscar Tango are out of the race, and all the others are struggling a bit. India Kilo is Andy Lutz from Austria. He's also being in the race, and also Bravo Tango is taking the southern route, which was okay. I mean, was not the fastest, was still a good choice. And also Sierra 2, Robbie Schröder with the LS8 18 is still in a good comfy height for completing the task. Now you can see on the very right hand side track point 2, the mandatory reporting point and the finish line. And the first few guys are in the race, taking it hard. They're just passing over the area of the Rosbrand area and racing ahead with really nice average speeds now. So they come up more than 115 kph, roughly 1800 to 2000 meters, taking a few energy lines, and now they are about 1.5 kilometers ahead. So Wolfgang is taking it, and they're coming together. Wolfgang is slightly higher here, taking the climb a bit nicer. Didier House is coming closer, and now the final glide is going on. You see Yankee 4 is a bit lower than the others, but still well in the same distance until now. And then Wolfgang and Bostan and Didier, they're really going on now and just staying on the ridges and making the race back home. Here you can see Sierra India, of course, he's out of the race. Alpha Golf, the young guy, the young German guy, Jan-Friedrich Müller, is also picking up. And all the others are way behind because they were struggling with the heights and going back up to a comfy terrain where it was better in terms of lift and thermals. And as you can see now, the lead is quite clear. Wolfgang is taking the last few Ks, followed by Echo Juliet, by the Slovenian guy Bostan Bristavic, and now you can see the grimming area, and we could see them from the deck here, from the studio, quite clearly. It was really good and really nice view, just seeing them on the ridges, and they were just racing like rockets. Wolfgang is taking it hard now and is just taking the point, taking the turn. As you can see here, really nice. It was a really fast, very straightforward final glide. He's taking the turn to the left according to the rules. And even Boston is now coming up now. Here we are. He's slightly lower related where Wolfgang has been. And he's pushing it hard. He's also taking the energy lines very nicely, and then he was just racing into the goal. Didier House is also on the way. Yankee 4 was slightly lower than the others, at least 400 meters, and it was quite interesting seeing him coming lower than the others, and he was quite slower as well, and Alpha Golf as well. And here Whiskey Oscar crossing the mandatory reporting point and the finish line. Yeah, really good job from Wolfgang. I was quite convinced that he's taking the place, the first place, as he did, because he's very stepping back if it's getting really tricky. So he's trying to stay high and safe, and that makes him fast in general in all his races. And Echo Juliet Boston is also coming up now on the very right. Is now coming into the goal, into the finish area. And all the pilots need to overfly the finish line with 100 meters above the airfield. Otherwise, they get penalties. a few penalties for other guys with a few issues in terms of logger records and things, but nothing severe. Only Wolfgang Janowicz, who got another 60 seconds penalty because of changing frequency without advising. So he got another 60 seconds, which is quite a bit. And as you can see, Didier Haus is now rushing into the goal. Same as Alpha Golf and Yankee 4, just turning here at the last turning point. Everybody's going left according to the rules. And here we go. Alpha Golf is also just crossing the finish line and coming into land. Same as Yankee 4. Number 5 is here Mario Kiesling from Germany, former European champion. And really nice race for Alpha Golf, the young German guy, Jan-Frederik Müller, who is probably one of the youngest competitors in the field, and so he did a really, really good job. And even Mario Kiesling, very, very convinced that he is also coming home quite fast, because he was also taking his time and is now landing. And now, as we can see, Robbie Schröder is coming up. He's taking the southern route. A really nice choice. Bravo Tango as well, and India Kilo, Andy Lutz, the Austrian guy, is now taking the race. Sierra 2 is now speeding up quite fast, and now it's getting interesting now. As you can see, in the final glide, he got really beaten by Robbie Schröder, because Andy is lower than Sierra 2. And this is now proper glider racing, as you can see. It's really nice seeing them just shooting to the finish line. And it's very, very close race. Look at this. Look at this here. Andy just came in here. Duck. And also Robbie Schröder. Well done. Really interesting race. Same, and was a good view on the deck, just watching the arrivals. And now they're going to land. Now Bravo Tango is now coming in and is getting also a few points. So Andy Lutz came 6th, Robbie Schröder 7th. Werner Danz is now finishing. As you can see now, he's now crossing the finish line as number 8. Is getting another 2 Grand Prix points. And the last one for the day who's earning points is Mike 3, Eddie Supersberger. And he also got penalties for the wrong setting of the logger, because everybody needs to have 3 seconds logging time instead of 4. And let's see where all the others are. Oscar Tango, he was out of the race anyway, so he's coming back home straight. Papa Kilo did also fire the engine later on. Echo Delta Echo as well. So a lot of other outlandings and using of sustainers. And Mike 3 and Oscar Delta are coming back now. Oscar Delta just didn't make it into the first 9. And Echo Delta Echo is just completing it, but he was, as I told you, using his engine. And now Mike 3 and Oscar Delta just shooting back home. Mike 3, he is flying a 15-meter Ventus, and everybody is taking a left turn on the last turning point. Golf Golf is also coming in, but is coming to land. It's not finishing now. And just get a quick overview. Also, Luka Schneiderschitsch is coming back in. 136.2 kilometers, and Lima Victor as well. And here we are. everybody is in the goal. Well, that was a good one. This was a good race day two, and we were quite amazed about how many people were watching this. And yeah, we say thank you. Stay tuned for the next racing day, and that was the close-up for the day. And thank you very much, and we will post more information and photos from the prize giving, and even the results, the final results, are on the web page, on the Grand Prix web page. And this was race 2. Thanks for watching.